What's going on, folks? You know what day it is. It is
Taco Tuesday.
I'm KC.
And I'm E.
And we are
Not Your Average Podcast.
We have some special guests in the building today. We have, as you guys might know, Eva's husband, her confidant, her number two, her other half. Some say better half. Haj.
Folks, how y'all doing?
What's going on? And we got this dude right here. We got my little bro, DJ Walt in the building. What's going on? Life is Walt, and life is good. Y'all know what day it is.
Super Tuesday.
Super Tuesday, Election Day, y'all. This is a big day,
guys.
This is a big day for everybody. And we're here for it. We're all here for it.
We are.
So I'm a little tangled right now. Give me one.
Well, while he's untangling, the reason we have guests on the show is because it is Super Tuesday and it is Election Day. And we wanted you guys to join the conversation. We want Walt to join the conversation. We want my husband to join the conversation. We want everybody involved because, as Casey and I have always constantly been telling you, everybody matters. You know, your vote matters, your opinion matters, your thoughts matter. So we're going to get feedback from Walt, feedback from Haj. Of course, you're going to get feedback from myself. Mm-hmm. And this one over here can't shut up. So most definitely going to get feedback from him. And we want feedback from you too. So if you guys are watching or you guys are listening, please just type it in, talk to us, and let us know what you're feeling and what you're thinking and how your anxiety is going right now. And
share. Share. If you're watching on Facebook, share. If you're watching on YouTube, share. And if you're in the same house with 20 people, like most people in Los Angeles, share. So we are here, guys. And we will be keeping you abreast to all of everything as it unfolds tonight.
Yes, we will.
We have our handy dandy tracker. So as you see right now, Biden 40, Trump 37.
Right.
Close. Yeah, it's very close. It's very close.
I think that's it right there. Biden has 89 and Trump has 63. And for those who do not know, you need 270 votes to become the president of the United States. You need 270 electoral votes to become the president of the United States. And right now, it looks like Biden is in the lead. Last time I checked, Biden had just grabbed New York. New York had 29 electoral votes, which is a lot. So that's really, really good. And New York is one of those states, it's mostly blue, but it can be red.
Yeah.
So, that's always good. And we're going to keep you in the loop. Just as we get the numbers, we're going to tell you guys the numbers too.
Chill. What's up, Donna Webster? Hi, Mama. Hey. Oh, so my mom sent me this amazing housewarming gift.
Okay.
It's a picture of her.
Thank you very much. I would send that type of gift.
I got it today. I don't have any pictures up, so that's my first picture to go up of people.
That's what's up.
So, yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's very lovely. It looks just like you. So, all right. So let's kind of get into some. Do we have any chips and dip today?
I mean, I do have a little chips and dip, but it's political. It's politics also. Yeah, that's good. But since it is Super Tuesday, it seems like a good day for me to let you guys know. Just for those who don't know, as you know, I'm our politician in the house, so KC keeps us on the loop of the culture. I keep us on the loop of the politics.
Because I'm young. So I'm in the streets.
And I guess that means my ass is old. I'm looking at the news. I'm in the house. So for those who don't know, our president right now, number 45, he signed an executive order yesterday. Mm-hmm. The day before the election, which is very unheard of and uncommon. That normally does not happen, that a president signs an executive order the day before the election. Mm-hmm. So let me give you guys a little, information about what this actual executive order is.
Yes.
So you guys can know. So yesterday, Monday, Trump signed the executive order to establish a 1776 commission to instill patriotic education. Just by telling you what he's trying to do with the word patriotic education, I would hope a lot of our listeners understand what he's trying to do, but I am going to dive in a little bit more. I want to make sure I'm explaining it right. So I read things and I Google a lot so I can make sure I'm telling you guys the factual information about this. So yesterday, Trump signed an executive order to put a commission together for the next 2 years of 20 people that's chosen by him. And what these people are going to do is set up a new history curriculum. And Trump wants to set up a new history curriculum because he doesn't feel that history is being taught properly. He does not feel the kids are learning the correct history. So to break it down exactly what Trump wants to do, he wants to take learning about slavery out of the history classes. He wants to take the little piece of history they give us in American history, and he wants that off the curriculum table. He said that is not patriotic and children are not learning the truth about the United States of America. And this is only going to put people down a rabbit hole to start creating the history that they choose. And that's a problem. So this executive order put the commission into play. Like I said, the commission is for 2 years. So they have 2 years to figure out the curriculum for the education system. If Trump wins tonight, this will be in place by his 3rd year because he's president 4 years and the commission's only 2 years. Now, if Biden wins, while I was Googling, if anybody out there can help me, I would appreciate it. But while I was Googling, I don't know if Biden can automatically dismiss this commission because he signed the executive order for it. And normally when they sign an executive order, it's hard to overturn that. So I will find out more on it, but as of right now, he did put a 20-person commission together that he will be electing. He's picking each person, and this commission is to be put in place to change American history that's taught through the education system. Now, just to let people realize and know, the school systems is something that governors control. The president doesn't control what the curriculum for every state is.
State by state thing.
It's a state by state thing just because governors have control of the state that they run. That's how it's been, I forgot which president put that into play, but that was put into play. So governors have that control of that. So most likely a lot of the Democratic governors will not want that type of curriculum. But the governors who probably will want that type of curriculum will probably not be on the West Coast. They'll probably be more a Southern hemisphere maybe, or a Midwest, and that's going to be a problem. And if you don't understand what this means you may be a mom and you're going to have a child, but your grandchildren will not know your history.
Right.
And their children will not know their history, and so on and so forth. Till it gets to a point, adults won't even remember slavery because all of us have passed. And if we're not teaching our children the truth, they can't then go on and teach their children the truth. And this becomes the cycle. And this is how history gets rewrote. And this is how history gets erased. This is exactly how it happens. So I thought that was very interesting that he signed that executive order yesterday. He signed yesterday afternoon. He signed this executive order. I do have a big problem with it. And his reasoning was he doesn't feel children are getting the education they deserve because we're taking down the monuments and we're taking down all the statues of all of these amazing people. Now you do realize the statues that he's talking about are the Confederate leaders of the statues that's been taken down mostly around the South and near HBCUs and things like that.
So he doesn't want to talk about slavery, but like it didn't exist. But he does want to celebrate people that had slaves.
Yes. He wants to celebrate the slave masters. Now, exactly what he's going to call them in this new history, I don't know. That's for the commission. That's for the commission to decide. But I just want you guys to
Real
know.
America, when America was great.
And this is a problem. This is a big problem. It's something that he slid under. A lot of people do not know that he did this, but he most definitely did do this. And I will be diving a little bit more into it because if Biden wins, then I want to know how it can be overturned or if it can be overturned. I don't know. That's something I just don't know. Like it's a process, I'm sure, but I don't know what the process is, like I said.
Now, my thing is, that sounds ridiculous to us, right? But a lot of people, like especially when like slavery movies come out, people are like, "Oh, I'm tired of slavery movies. Why are we always gonna bring this up?" Now, are those gonna be the same people that are like, "Well, oh, you should keep that in school because that's our history.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when people are like, oh, there's more slavery movies. There's always slavery movies.
Right.
It's like, but this is we can't have if we don't have slavery movies, we can't have period pieces. Right. We can't have movies that take place in anything before 1860.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Before that, we got to be cut off. Like, but we were kings and queens. Yes, but we don't have any accounts of that.
No.
We don't have any accounts of that. This is what we have accounts of. And these are stories of people that came before us that triumphed throughout this. So let's tell those stories. And great things did happen through us during those times.
Yes.
So why do you guys want to erase that? Right. So hopefully those same people keep the same energy. Right.
Right.
Well, hopefully they don't keep the same energy. I think we still need to learn about all this stuff in school because Black history is American history. There will be no American history without Black people.
Agreed.
Point blank, period.
Right. Agreed.
It was built on us. It was built by us. It was built from our lives, and our blood is in the soil that grew the fruit and grew the vegetables and the cotton that fed them. But they didn't eat cotton.
Exactly.
But still.
I completely agree, and that's why it's such a problem, and that's why I wanted to definitely bring it and let our Taco Tuesday listeners know what's going on. But like I said, he did sign this executive order. I will find out more information about this, but at the same time, this is more of a reason why you have to be more involved in what's going on in your kid's life. This is more of a reason why you do have to know what the teachers are teaching them and what they're learning, because like the Tulsa massacre, a lot of people did not know that actually happened until a TV show had to show them, and then they started Googling.
Well, you know why? Because even in Tulsa, they're trying to get that swept under the rug. They've been sweeping under the rug forever.
For years.
And even to the point where the majority of people that died in the massacre, they are an unmarked. They're not registered anywhere. No. Like their names aren't logged anywhere. They're all unmarked. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then when they interview people, I saw them go through the town and interviewing people, saying, should we actually teach about this? Because they don't teach about it in the city. Mm-hmm. They don't teach about the biggest thing that happened in their city. Most people said, no, I think we should just let that be in the past and move forward, in unity. But you can't move forward in unity if you don't know who your neighbor is.
You got to know your history. Yeah. You got to know your history so you can move forward. If you don't, it'll repeat itself. So I think, like I said, this executive order is definitely a problem. And I am definitely going to keep us in the loop of it and find out exactly what's going on. And I'm going to try to find out exactly, if I can, who's on the commission. Mm-hmm. I would like to know who he chose to be on this commission, because I can almost bet nobody on the commission is there to represent anything that looks like one of us.
Right.
So I would like to know who's on the commission. But this is something that happened. This is the chips and dip I have on Super Tuesday.
Donald Webster says, it's a hard truth. We need our whole history. We are more than slave descendants.
Yes, we are. And just to piggyback on that comment, that's why our culture needs something very similar to the Jewish culture. If you know anyone who's Jewish, or anything about the Jewish culture, when the kids hit a certain age, they have to go to Hebrew school. And Hebrew school is a process. Like, they have to go to school, do homework. Mind you, they're still kids. So they have to still do school, regular school, but they have to go to Hebrew school, and they learn Hebrew. They learn how to write it. They learn how to read it. They learn how to speak.
But they gave us ebonics in college, remember? So, they did their part.
And our culture needs to embrace our history also, and we need to teach our children that. Mm-hmm. And that's the only way it's going to keep going down the line. Because if this curriculum comes into place, it's going to be a problem. Yeah. Maybe not for your particular your children, but it's going to be a problem for your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, and so on and so forth.
Definitely.
So you need to think about that. So that's the chips and dip I have.
So right now,
I have a fun fact.
Oh, okay.
I have a fun fact.
What's your fun fact, girl?
Just in case anybody was wondering, has there ever been a presidential tie? There has. Huh. In 1801.
Who was that?
There was a presidential tie, and the president who was tied was, I'm going to give you all the information. It was Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr. Wow. In 1801, it was a tie. Who should win the seat? And when there is a tie, this is actually still in place today in 2020. The House of Representatives chooses the president.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, and the Senate chooses the vice president.
Wow.
If it's a tie.
But then the question I even pose is, what if the House what the House selects a Democratic and the Senate selects a Republican vice president. How does that work?
Yeah, so I thought it would be an interesting, fun fact, because I actually didn't know there was ever a tie. So in 1801, there was a tie.
Nice.
That's why they always have a tendency of giving the Senate out as well as the president. Because if, just in case there was a Democratic president, and just in case there was a Republican president. Oh, yeah.
No, it's just like louder.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Their sound's coming from that mic.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, from a Democratic point of view and a Republican point of view, when it comes to the Senate, when you're voting, it's the same as voting for them too. You're voting for everyone. So when you're voting for the Senate has full power over most of everything. So you need to be smart in choosing them, because when Obama got elected, his first running, I believe we had a completely Republican vote too.
Yeah, and that's why he
You better have some knowledge, Walt.
And that's why he couldn't get a lot of things passed. People don't understand. If the Senate and
So,
the House are opposite of the sitting president, it's hard for the sitting president to get anything pushed through.
So we had a lot of work.
And Obama had
people are like, he didn't do nothing for black people. He did a lot for black people. It was just so hard.
It was hard to do something.
The things that he did, it was a miracle that he got them
that he was able to do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's why Trump is stacking everything so hard right now. Like
Stacking the deck. Yeah, he got
4
Bernie.
years.
What's her name? The new Chief Justice, he slid her in right on the low. They just passed an executive order right on the low. So it's the Republicans are playing dirty. And we have to just pay attention to that, because these are things that's going to be lasting, from years to come.
Yeah.
Right.
Our children's children. So we just have to be mindful of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
You can tell the parents over here.
I mean, I'm a parent. I just
We
don't
be
talk to my
thinking,
kids.
we
I just don't talk to my kids, so that's all. Y'all stop sending me friend requests on Facebook.
I don't know if it's just me, but on Instagram, I've been noticing that a lot of people have been just going in and voting, and they'll write their own names in the ballot.
On the right-hand part.
Absolutely.
I've seen
And then they
Yeah.
flex that, hey, I voted just now. I wrote my name because, I didn't know who to vote for. So I made sure to just write my name in there.
What's the point? You're going to go all the way down there.
I'm guessing they did it just like, guessing at a math test, in high school. They just, filling in all the answers, C.
But see, the problem is this is in high school.
Yeah. This is life.
This is everyone.
Our future. That's a good point. So one of the propositions was allowing 17-year-olds to vote. So if they're if their birthday, I think was 11? No, JJ? Oh no, I'm making that up.
It was like 17 and a half.
But
they could vote.
So if their birthday was after the registration or the registration to vote, like time to register to vote, which is in March, then they couldn't vote. Even if they turned 18 after that, they couldn't vote, even if they were 18 during the election, during election day. That's what it is currently. And so this will put it into place where if they're 17 and they will be 18 during election day, they can still vote. But you get that mentality of the young mentality, as Walt just put us onto, of people not taking it really seriously. And then you're splitting votes. You know what I'm saying? You're messing up the whole pot.
It was Proposition 18 in California.
18.
It was Proposition 18 that Casey is referring to, that if depending on where their birthday is, they can vote. And a lot of people was against it because I read the pros and the cons. And a lot of people was against it because they felt teachers could sway the students.
That is true.
Because at 17 years old, sometimes they haven't graduated high school yet. They're a senior this year. like our kid. She hasn't graduated high school. She's still in school. So if that was, on the ballot, if that was something they could do and they were sitting in class, that's 52 minutes that teacher got to talk to that student and, put something in their head, and it resonated with them at that point in their life, and they may vote a particular way, not realizing it's about to affect you for the next 5 years or 10 years or however long.
So Deanna Stevens said, who actually works, she's a judge working the polls. And she said she just finished, she just left there just now. But she said invalid write-ins are disregarded, not counted. So that's just a wasted vote. So it's like, what's the point of voting if you're just gonna do it to throw it away? It makes no sense.
It's a waste. Yeah, it's a waste.
I feel the same way if someone had voted for Kanye. Like,
and that was the worst part. I've seen that they said I would have voted for Kanye, but I'm just gonna write my name in there anyway because I'm just maybe that's better.
Right.
I mean, and one very irresponsible thing that he did is posted people people that were voting early. They were writing Kanye's name in, and he's retweeting those pictures that people are sending to him.
He's telling them to do it.
Yeah, and it's like it's a waste.
It's such a waste.
It's a waste.
It's a waste.
Especially since we all know that Kanye's pro-Trump. We all know this.
No, he's not pro-Trump. He's pro-Kanye.
So
this doesn't make sense to throw it off.
So let's look at our stats right now, you guys. Casey just pulled them up, so we're going to tell you guys exactly what's going on. And it looks like, it hasn't moved from the last time I told you guys. It's Biden has 89.
It has 78.
And Trump has 72.
Yeah, because Trump had 59 last time, so he's won a couple. He's won a couple states because it was I think 89 to 52 or something like that. So now Trump has jumped up a tad.
He jumped up a little bit.
Yeah.
So we have a key race alert. Looking at CNN, I'm literally looking at it while I'm talking to you guys right now. So Ohio has 18 electoral votes, and it looks like it's a really close race to call because Biden is 49.5 and Trump was 49.2. Ohio is another swing state that has been blue and red. So obviously it's not like one of those things you can say you can call it. You can't call it. You have to let every single vote get counted in Ohio. Florida is the same way. So, and Florida is a very key state also. So looking at the Senate seat, it looked like Democrats have 40 seats and Republicans have 38. And definitely if Biden gets in, he wants a Democratic Senate, just like Walt was saying earlier with the Senate. You want the Senate to be the same party as the sitting president. Actually, you want both of them. You want the Senate and the House.
Right.
You want as many as on your side as you possibly can get when it comes to that seat, those seats.
Agreed.
And then, unfortunately, they still have uncalled votes. I'm glad your sister let us know that they throw those votes away.
Yeah. She said it's sad how many votes are wasted on Mickey Mouse over the years.
Right.
So a lot of people just vote for Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
For no reason. What is the point? What is the point of going there and pretending to do your civic duty if you're just going to have it thrown away? It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's such a waste of
So
time.
it's like, do you tell them to stay home?
Right.
Yeah. Not vote?
Might as well. You're wasting paper.
Well, the thing is, they didn't vote on the presidency, but it would be nice to find out did they vote on other things. But because if they did, they need to know your ballot was discounted.
What up, Uncle Freddie? Uncle Freddie's in the house. What's good?
So, like, Deanna, if you're still there, so say if they do vote on like the propositions and they vote on like the congressman, but since they voted and wrote their name in on the president, so the whole ballot was discarded. So the things that they voted for on the proposition and stuff didn't even count either. So it's a complete waste of energy and time. And they probably wanted to really vote for the propositions, but they couldn't.
Yeah. You're on CNN, right, Haj?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on?
I'm going to that one.
Oh, that's really okay.
But it's sad that they even give them the option to put their names on the ballot.
Right.
Anyway, that's who thought of that? Let's give them an option, to pick other. Why?
I don't even know why they would put that option on the ballot.
It's literally just to throw people off.
Right.
That's the point. That's the point.
He said neck and neck in Texas.
Well, Texas hasn't been blue since I think Obama's second term, so it would be nice to see Texas blue.
It would.
Your mom said Biden says 128, Trump says 94. What?
Yeah,
what you-
mine's updated too.
Oh,
Let me go to
okay,
the
so-
website that that's on.
Okay, so we're Taco Tuesday's behind.
Yeah,
Walt, tell us what you see.
it's 131.92 right
131 for
now.
Biden.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 92.
Okay,
New Mexico went to Biden, and Colorado did as well.
Went to Biden.
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Wyoming just went to Trump.
Who?
Donald.
What state?
Wyoming. Sorry.
Wyoming. Okay.
I have not seen a live for.
So as you guys can see, we're right in the neck of things, in the thick of things too. I got both the in-house guests telling us what's going on.
Oh yeah, no, we're on it.
Okay, so your sister did respond. She said, no, not the whole ballot, just the write-in category. Oh, okay.
So just the writing category is discarded. Each section stands on its own.
Okay. I was unaware of that. I did not know that. Thank you. Okay, that's our fact checker right there. She says CNN saying 89 and Biden's and the other guys. But I think it's moved up now. I think Biden, according to Walt, has 131.
You know, every time it's just weird to even say that man's name.
Man,
It's just hard to even say it.
yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, look, that's us. Look, that's us.
We're live now. So the critical battleground states we're waiting for is North Carolina, Ohio, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Texas, but they're all still too early to call. As for in Los Angeles, California, you can still go out and vote. Our polls close at 8 o'clock. And long as you're in line by 8 o'clock, you will vote. You can't obviously walk in the line after 8, but long as you're in line by 8 o'clock, you will vote. And out here in LA, they have a lot going on because a lot of businesses have boarded up their business. A lot of, the streets are definitely, people going home. They're not trying to hang out because the fear is we know it's going to be trouble no matter which way it goes. It's going to be trouble if they're celebrating and it's going to be trouble if they piss. It's going to be trouble either way it goes. So, we totally advise everybody to be inside, because like I said, we close at 8 o'clock. I don't think they'll be calling it, shortly after we close, but at the end of the day, it's only 270 votes. It's math. At the end of the day, it's just math. It's how many states is left, how many electoral votes do they have, how many do you have? Right now, 135 and 135 is 270. So whoever gets over 135 with little left, that's how they call the presidency, because it's only 270 votes. So once you hit like 170 or 185, the other person can't win. It's just not enough votes.
Does this look closer to what you guys have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm watching.
His didn't come up with Walt's number, but
What do you have?
I'm on CNN.
No, I mean, what number do you have?
his numbers are still 89.72. His numbers aren't even that high, but Walt's numbers was big.
I'm going live updated.
Yeah, so this says 129 and 109. You said
Why every single
yours
poll
say
off?
131 and 92.
Okay.
So okay, we'll rock with this
We'll
right
roll
now.
with this right now.
At the end of the day, we're gonna see who the president
Yeah.
is. So
It looks like the Midwest is a lot of red, going on. The Midwest is a lot of red.
Which was crazy because I believe during George Bush's election, Michigan was a Democratic state.
Well, Michigan definitely turned red this year.
Oh,
Michigan,
it turned red. It definitely did.
Yeah, Michigan went his way. So where are my Michigan people at? Lisa, Bruce?
right.
What's going on?
No.
What up,
I don't know.
What up, though?
What's going on?
Go green.
Y'all didn't talk to y'all folks. Y'all didn't talk to y'all folks.
I mean, Lisa is deep conditioning her hair right now, so she might not be available at the moment.
Okay, your uncle just told us that we flipped our federal senator, and your uncle's in Texas.
No, he is in Colorado.
Colorado.
Okay. All right. The polls close.
Deanna Stevens said, remember,
and 29 seconds.
and what?
The polls close in these states.
Okay.
In 2 minutes and 23 seconds.
So in
what states?
2 minutes, the polls close in North Carolina, Ohio, Florida, Pennsylvania, Texas, and Virginia.
Got you.
They close in 2 minutes. Walt decided to
Okay,
have a
Drakes.
hair-
Okay, Drakes. I see you. Okay.
You had a hair break?
Okay, I see you, Drakes. You better let it down there, boo boo. Okay.
Maybe I'll show you.
Deanna Stevens says, remember all those mail-in ballots still need to be counted. So
Right.
nothing will be finalized tonight.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you.
Well, and I broke my hair tie. I'm doing this all that right
Just
now.
let it hang, Walt.
Hey,
Just
you
let it
want to
hang.
grab one of these ones?
That's tough.
I mean, that's actually what I do. I wrap my hair with my hair. So
No,
that, but you know, you can't do that because you're not as cool as me.
2 strands.
So how was the voting process where you went to you went today.
I went today.
You took your babies.
I did. I took my children.
Mm-hmm.
I voted today. I know on election day the polls open early, so I was there early. They knew last night they had to get up early because Kennedy's in school, like I said, and school starts at 9. So she had to vote before 9 so she could get on Zoom. So we were there very, very early, and it was a process, because I wanted to make sure they both were okay, and it was her first time, so I just, and she was like, they want my address. I'm like, yes, babe. They want you to verify if they're looking at your address. So it was a process, and like I said, once you do it once with children, they're fine. Voting's not difficult, but if they've never done it, it can be a little overwhelming. There's a lot of lines, and people are, what's your name? And they're talking fast, trying to move on to the next. So that's it was an experience. How many Democratic seats have we picked?
Now tap Haj so you can keep talking without interrupting.
Okay.
Oh.
So how many Democratic seats have we picked?
I want Haj to look at that so you can get your story. I'm trying to stage manage here. All right? I'm trying to stage manage.
You really are. And I'm looking like,
We'll
what
look at the
is
figure.
what is he telling me?
Yes.
But
How
yeah.
many Democratic Senate seats have we picked up?
It was on that first thing.
But it wasn't staying up. It wasn't changing.
I don't think it did.
Yeah.
No, hard to see it though.
Too early to call.
Yeah.
So
if they do Senate seats.
Montana, too early to call.
Deanna Stevens says, OMG, we the judges had to be there at 5 a.m. Polls in Illinois open at 6 a.m. There were tons of people in line at 5 a.m. when we got there.
Oh, wow. I was the second person in line.
People want to vote, and I'm here for it. I'm all here for it. Yeah.
I did hear a statistic that said Georgia had more mail-in ballots this election than people who voted 4 years ago in total. They had more mail-in ballots, and this was like a couple of days ago. It wasn't Super Tuesday yet.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people in Georgia had something to say, and they wanted to get out there and say it, and that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm happy to see everybody vote. I like my timeline with all the vote stickers. I'm happy.
So you guys know last week, 1 second. So Frederick Woodard says we're not looking good on our in our state house. They're the ones with 3, 2, 1. They're the ones that will draw congressional lines after the 2020 census. And that's in Colorado. Yes,
Okay.
yes. Interesting. And these are things that people don't think about that go into play.
No.
You know what I'm
Trump
saying?
is pulling away.
Yeah.
He is at 51% to Biden's 47%.
In Florida?
In Florida, and Florida has 29 electoral votes. So Florida's a big state.
Pennsylvania, Donald Trump is leading it right now. It's still early, but it's 51 to 47.
But he's 46,000 votes ahead. Mind you, Pennsylvania is Biden's home state. So I really wanted Pennsylvania to kind of get in there and pull out for Biden.
Donald Webster said usually it takes 5 minutes with no line. Today it was a long line. It took 40 minutes to vote.
And he's Donald Trump is leading in Texas. And he's leading in Wisconsin.
Fred Woodard says Senate 40 to 38 Democrats.
Thank you.
All right.
And then 145, 155 Republicans. Thank you.
Man.
And after the votes in Georgia, it looks like Trump is actually leading in Georgia also.
The West Coast want to pull it off.
Californians, they know California's electoral votes is everywhere else.
But our state doesn't really have that much pull.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't really.
They don't count.
Doesn't have that much weight. Yeah.
No, they don't count because when it comes to this race, they just say California's blue.
Yeah.
Like they just move on.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Democrat, that's why we don't get a lot of visits
And like,
you don't get all the rallies.
we know y'all hippies.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
They don't come visit us.
You goddamn weed smokers and tokers. Deanna Stevens says in New Jersey, they only had the mail-in option for the government. Wow. No in-person voting offered in the entire state. So that might be because of COVID.
Yeah.
You know, like strict COVID rules.
The East Coast had it really bad.
Yeah, they're booming.
They're booming.
Metro booming. North Carolina's neck and neck.
Okay.
I don't know what that governor.
We don't know what that meant.
Oh, per the governor. Yeah.
Oh.
So in New Jersey, they only have mail-in option per the governor.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So it makes sense though. It makes sense because the governor is enforcing COVID rules.
Yeah.
So,
So. Well, Gavin tried. He gave us some COVID rules, but we don't listen.
Nobody listened.
California's
And
not
then-
listening.
Oh my God! So you saw his restrictions for Christmas, right?
For the holidays.
Which
yes.
they're not that bad. He's like
Three households.
3 households,
And he wants
in a
everybody
gathering.
outside. It's
Mhm.
3 households. He wants everyone outside. He wants masks, face coverings enforced,
Mhm.
and no sharing of things like sharing food and utensils and things like that. He wants everybody to have.
I mean, which is just nasty anyway.
That's-
You shouldn't be doing that anyway.
Right.
But it's not like it's cold out here, so y'all could be outside. Y'all could, it's gonna be 83 degrees on Christmas anyway, so you could be outside. And 3 households, that's like what? That could be a good 15, 20 people.
Yeah.
So how many households do you usually have, especially in California where nobody's from here? So
That's facts.
Walking.
the only thing is like with Friendsgiving and stuff like that, it's like
Yeah.
we're all from different households, but it's like, does that really count? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, no one's been following the rules anyway.
No,
So-
California had a lot of Halloween parties.
But everyone's complaining about calling Gavin the Grinch that stole Christmas. You can still have your Christmas.
Right.
You can still have your celebration. It's not Jesus' birthday anyway. So
I think Gavin's just trying to, keep it safe. He's just trying to do the right thing. 'Cause
we need it.
Yeah, he's just trying to do
We
the right
need it.
thing.
We are too
Yeah.
free. We are too free. As we say, as we sit shoulder to shoulder in the same
I said,
room.
as we all sit here, right by each other.
This is 3 households though.
Real talk, it is 3 households.
The hair gives me protection.
Donna Webster says Trump refused to extend the census deadline due to COVID. This will affect many communities because the count was cut short. Eee.
Jeez.
Harrison lost in South Carolina.
Okay.
Deanna Stevens says, OMG, no charcuterie boards. Now, that's the trick. Have you guys been seeing charcuterie boards everywhere?
No.
You guys know what charcuterie boards are, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
pretty much a board with like a piece of wood with meat, cheese, crackers, stuff like that.
Oh.
Pretty much grown ass Lunchables. So that's all charcuterie boards. But that's been a trend on like social media. People doing all these charcuterie boards. And it's like during this time, how is that the trend during this time when people are picking up things and touching things and dipping things and just sitting out in the open, people talking over it, misting over the food. But it's a trend right now. It's so weird. It's so weird. Now I did see a really dope bachelorette party charcuterie. They had made charcuterie boxes. So each attendant got a little box with their crackers or cheese, their meats and
Like
stuff
a
like that. Now it's not as pretty, but
it's safe.
it looks
It's
like
safer.
a grown ass
It's safer.
Lunchable.
Yeah, it's a Lunchable.
Yeah.
It's a Lunchable. That's
Adorable.
exactly.
How we started, how we ended. Lunchables, charcuterie board.
Wow.
Where'd it go? You want me to take it? Okay.
Oh.
So Don Webster just said Lindsey Graham retained his seat. He said on TV, we need to get back to the good old days of segregation.
Woo! What state was that?
Where is he? Why we always like this?
God dang it.
Where was he? What state is that?
Lindsey Graham.
We need to get back to the good old days.
That's wild.
Wow.
Wow. And you know what? I don't think a lot of people realize racism hasn't never left. Racism has always been in the United States of America. But this particular person in office has just brought it to the forefront. I do believe people was a tad bit more subtle. Don't get me wrong. I've experienced racism many times.
Racism doesn't get this big in 4 years. It doesn't get this big in 4 years.
It was a little bit more subtle. It wasn't just in your face.
Well, they were afraid, but when you got the leader of the country
he
saying,
was the vessel.
be racist, be like me, it's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
They got, they had the green light. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Let's go. Let's strengthen numbers. And the leader of our nation is just like us.
And it's crazy to me because of where I work. Like I've told you guys numerous times, it's only 2 black women and absolutely no black men in my company. And I'm the highest level of a black woman there.
Yeah, I tried to get a job there. They wouldn't hire me.
She's an executive assistant, but her and I are very close.
I'm kidding.
We talk all the time, and it's so blatant now. Like even the shit they say, like walking past my office, like because they know where I sit. Like everybody knows where I sit.
Mm-hmm.
But when they walk past my office, I hear things that I know they know I heard. like they know it. It's just so blatant now. They just don't care. Like I said, racism has never not been around. I've been in corporate America.
Racism's still alive. They just be concealing it.
Yeah, but it's like Deanna said, it's just so bold now, and they don't care.
Yeah.
Today I saw so many different people post voter suppression, and then you would see the officers walk up, and the person who it happened to is trying to explain their story, and they're trying to tell this officer what these people did. Like one person sprayed somebody with bear mace spray, like something you would spray at a bear. They sprayed it at these people. She's trying so hard to relay this information politely.
While the people that did it are walking over, they're leaving, they're driving away. She's like, why are you letting them leave? And they're smiling at them. They're laughing at them. And
he was like, well, no crime was committed here. They just sprayed some shit on me that belongs on an animal. Right. That's a crime. Why did they do? That's not okay. Like, and that's when you really have to think about the people that you're calling to come help you.
Mm-hmm.
You call the police to come help you, but because of the person that's in power right now, when we call the police to come help them, are they really going to come help us?
Right.
Depending on who the us is on the other side of the phone. Right. So that can be very scary. We have new updates coming in, you guys. New updates coming in.
They're going so fast.
That's how they talk.
Oh, dang.
Okay.
All
Net gains.
Go for it.
Okay. The House didn't gain any. The Senate gained 1. It looks like in the House we have 73 Democrats and 92 Republicans, and then it looks like
the Senate Democrats 43, Republicans 38.
The Senate gained 1, House gained none.
Yes.
Republicans need 17.
House Democrats 73, Republicans 92. Senate Democrats 43, Republicans 38. Up 1, Democrats need 4.
Once again, Senate up 1, House needs 17. How did we do? I think we did good.
I think it's repeat now.
I think we did good. It do move fast.
Yeah. So Donna Webster said that Lindsey Graham is South Carolina.
Thank you.
Which makes sense. I get it.
It's a sad sense, but yes, it does make sense.
They don't want us to be segregated, man. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. They don't want us to be segregated because their kids will still be dancing to our songs on TikTok.
And their grandkids will still be looking like us.
Right.
Their grandkids still be looking like us. When we walk next to the grandkids, it look like one of us can be the mama and the dad.
Right. South Carolina has also said black and brown could travel anywhere in the state as long as they are conservative and favor traditional family values.
Wow.
Really? So South Carolina's off the chain.
Yeah. Oh, he also said, she was just saying South Carolina, that's where he's from.
Lindsey
He also said that black and brown could travel anywhere in the state as long as they're conservative and favor traditional family values.
Wow.
Like tradition as in slavery?
Yeah.
Is that the tradition that
Is that the tradition he's talking about? Because we're not feeling that tradition.
And Frederick Woodard said Harrison spent a buttload of cash
on his campaign.
What's ALC?
The woman in Congress, not Congress. Where is she? Senate. I'm about to get her name.
Deanna Stevens says, yeah, because COVID knows the difference, right? Oh man.
No. No.
No, I mean, you guys see the video where the Trump supporters are trying to run Joe Biden's van off the road?
Yeah.
Literally, like
tons of
Oh,
tons of things, tons of what do you call it? Tons of
Trump truckers.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to
okay, I'll tell you who AOC is. I couldn't remember her whole name. I just knew her last name was Cortez. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's also known by her initials, which is AOC. She's a politician in the U.S. representative for New York, the 4th Congressional District. That's what she is. The district includes eastern part of Bronx, portions of north central Queens, Rikers Island, and New York City. And she's been very vocal and very outspoken about how she feels about Trump. And actually, unfortunately, Trump's actually been very vocal in how he feels about her. Let's just say it that way. He's very mean to her.
And Donna Webster says that in South Carolina, he doesn't like the gays. No gays.
Well, you know, Melania tried to say Donald Trump was the first president to walk in the White House supporting gay marriage, and then in that same clip, they have 5 different moments where he strongly says, "I do not support gay marriage. I do not support gay marriage. I do not support gay marriage."
If there are no gays, who's gonna lead the choirs in church? I just don't like who's gonna lead the church choirs.
I can't. I can't.
These views are not the views of Taco Tuesday.
We don't tell about
Freddie would have said he wants people to think like them. Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Meaning black people are below
Exactly.
them.
Man, I can't even believe he said something like that, and he won the seat. That just tells you how many people in that state thinks like that, or how many people in that state feels like him, and that's so unfortunate for all those residents in South Carolina.
Deanna Stevens says, "OMG, they should have been arrested and surrounding the Biden bus like that. They could have been deadly. It could have been deadly. I mean, there were so many laws broken.
Right.
So many laws
But
broken.
nothing happened. There was no repercussion.
But do you realize that you don't see that with Democrats?
No.
You don't see Democrats doing stuff like that.
No.
You don't see Democrats calling Trump, I don't even know what to call them. Trump supporters, different names. Like there's so many names for Democrats and liberals from the other side.
Yeah.
Like they're just a bunch of bullies.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
That's
Is
all
call
they
names.
have.
Like that's all they can do. They have no facts. They have like anything they say is just ignorant. So all they have is calling names and doing intimidation.
Yeah.
Stuff like this. Strength, because there's strength in numbers. They are nothing by themselves. And now they have someone that's leading them that groups a ton of them together.
Yep.
They feel bold, but they are weak. They are scared, and they are sissies.
They're sissies.
These views are the views of Talk Tuesday. Holla at me.
They are sissies.
Get at me.
But it's crazy to me that they support him. You know, he just did a rally. I think it was in Nebraska. Maybe. He just did a rally. He got a bus for all his rally people so they can come to the rally. You know, because they have to park far away. Then Air Force One lands very close to the rally. He gets off the plane, does the rally, turns the people up, and then he gets back on his goddamn plane and he leaves. Mind you, he was supposed to send a bus back for these people. Some of these people got hypothermia
after midnight.
Yes.
A lot of them were taken to the hospital.
They got
They didn't have to
hypothermia.
wait for the bus. They got an ambulance.
Yeah.
He did the same exact thing again in Pennsylvania.
But he did the same thing in Pennsylvania. So you're voting for somebody who you're going to see. He's providing you a bus to come see him. But somehow when he leaves, he forgets to provide you a bus to get back home. And you got hypothermia now. Like,
Figure it out.
I got you here. Figure it out.
Yeah, I got to get back to your car the best way you can.
Deanna Stevens says that's the mom mentality. Yeah, like racism is fear.
Yeah.
Racism is legit fear. Fear that we could either be equal or greater than them.
Well, it's greater than them.
Mhm.
Like when you hear them talk, they feel like they're going to be extinct.
Mm-hmm.
Like they feel like we're going to mix the culture.
I mean, the sun kills them. So I mean, hey.
I wasn't even ready for this. I just had to put my head down.
And we just soak it in.
Daywalkers.
Haj, that's racist. No. You cannot be a guest on my show again. Do not speak that filth, flarm, filth, that malarkey. Not here on Taco Tuesday.
month.
But real talk.
That part.
Oh man.
Like even if you wanted to vote for him, once you found out he left your auntie or your grandma, or your mom stuck at this rally, and now they send in the hospital because they almost froze to death. Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
That's so inconsiderate, rude,
Overcrowded hospital at that because of COVID.
Yeah. Think about it, Herman Cain. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
They didn't even mention his name at the convention.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And he was a Republican for years. He backed all the goddamn Republicans. Herman Cain been a Republican for years.
All right, so we got Delaware Republican Coons. I don't like that name.
I don't even like it. It looks like Illinois got a Democrat in the
You don't pronounce the
Senate.
Illinois.
Massachusetts have a Democrat in the Senate. New Hampshire got a Democrat in the Senate.
New Jersey.
Okay.
Oh,
Come on now.
Cory Booker
Okay.
got his job
All right,
back in
Book.
the Senate.
All right.
Oklahoma went to a Republican
Makes sense.
in Hope. I hope I pronounced his name right. Rhode Island went to a Democrat. Reed.
We getting there.
Tennessee went to a Republican. Haggerty.
Oh, that was by the huge. That makes sense. Tennessee.
Arkansas went to a Republican.
That
Cotton.
makes sense.
They didn't have his picture up.
Colorado went to a Democrat.
Hey.
Hickenlooper. South Dakota went to a Republican.
Round.
It has South in the name.
Wyoming went to a Republican.
Ooh.
A female by the name of Loomis. South Carolina went to the Republican Lindsey Graham, who wants to get the good old party back together. Indiana went to a Republican Holcomb. West Virginia went to a Republican Justice. Delaware went to a Democrat, Carney. And it looks like New Hampshire went to a Republican. His last name is Sununi. South, that must be North Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay, North Carolina went to a Democrat.
North Dakota went to a Republican Burgum.
Oh, yeah.
Vermont went to Biden.
All right.
All right.
All right.
That's three. Okay, come on.
Virginia went to Biden. This is our for president, of course, guys.
Okay.
Kentucky, Trump. Virginia, 67. Trump.
Alabama went to Trump.
Southern.
Come on, the South.
God dang it.
Connecticut went to Biden.
7 electoral votes.
That's 7 right there. Delaware went to Biden. That's
3 electoral
3.
votes.
Thank you, Casey. Illinois went to Biden.
20 electoral votes.
All right, Chi-Town.
Maine went to Biden.
4 electoral votes.
All right.
Maryland went to Biden.
10 electoral votes.
Massachusetts went to Biden.
11 electoral votes.
Mississippi went to Trump.
6 electoral votes. That's all right. It's only 6. Mom, what's happening in Mississippi?
Missouri went to Trump.
10 electoral votes.
New Jersey went to Biden.
14 electoral votes. Come on, New Jersey.
Those mail-in ballots. Oklahoma went to Trump.
7 electoral votes. That's cool. So only 7.
Rhode Island went to Biden.
4 electoral votes. That's weird because it was like more Trump.
Yeah. Tennessee went to Trump.
11 electoral votes.
Really? Is it Memphis? Washington, D.C. went to Biden.
3 electoral votes.
Indiana went to Trump.
11 electoral votes.
Kansas went to Trump.
6 electoral votes.
Colorado went to Biden.
9 electoral votes.
Louisiana went to Trump.
8 electoral votes.
Is that Nebraska?
Mhm.
Nebraska went to Trump.
5 electoral votes.
New York went to Biden.
29 electoral votes. Folks, let's go.
I can't see which Dakota.
North Dakota State. It's one of them.
It's one of the Dakotas. They went to Trump. Oh, both the Dakotas went to Trump.
3 electoral votes.
Keep that safe.
Wyoming went to Trump.
3 electoral votes.
I think we did these.
Kansas.
Kansas went to Trump.
6.
The Midwest. The Midwest is red. The Carolina went to Trump. I don't know which Carolina it is.
No, it's the South that went to Trump.
Well, the South did too.
Virginia, North Virginia, South Virginia. I'm not sure what that is.
Well, now we on the Senate.
Okay.
Yeah, we on the Senate now. They went to the Senate.
Well, y'all can see it.
Well, they just rewinded it because that's where it started.
Oh,
Remember, it
okay.
started at Combs.
Oh yeah.
They just replayed it. So we can try, just want to give you guys exactly what's going on. Once again, California will be the last to get the numbers in because we're on the West Coast. But technically, I just told you untruth. Hawaii will be the last to get the numbers in because they're an hour behind us.
Got you.
But the numbers are coming in.
Straight up.
You know, and most definitely when all the numbers come in, you know, if it won't be on this week's episode, Casey and I definitely want to go back around and talk about the propositions that did get approved and the propositions that didn't get approved. Mm-hmm. Because California had some pretty big propositions on the ballot this year. Mm-hmm. You know, and I know a big one for a lot of people was the app-based driving.
Yeah,
was that 23? Was it 23 or 22? I think
it was 22.
App-based driving. What can I hear myself?
So I'm trying to share it.
Oh. Okay.
Trying to multitask over here.
I see.
On the ones and twos.
Yeah, the app-based driving, it was Proposition 22 was a really big one. So I would like to see where that went. I would like to see where the dialysis one, how did that turn out? We had 3 property tax propositions on the ballot this year. So I want to see what's going on with those. And, you know, we have one talk about felons. You know, can felons vote when they come out? I think they should be able to vote.
Because
they pay taxes.
Yeah. A lot of them, yeah.
I mean, if they pick their debt society.
If felons couldn't vote, I would be able to vote. No, I'm kidding. No, but a lot of them, in a lot of states, it was that they couldn't vote while they were on parole. So they could vote afterward, but they couldn't vote while they're parole. This will allow them to vote while they're on parole. So as soon as they get out of prison, they will be able to vote. It's like if you're paying taxes right when you get out, then you should have a say in where those taxes go to.
Exactly. But more importantly, they say prison, even though it's a crock of bullshit, they say prison is a rehabilitation. You know, you're supposed to come out and come better. Well, if I'm supposed to be a better person and make better decisions, why would you take my right to vote away from me? Mm-hmm. You know, if I'm supposed to be the type of person that, you know, grew up and matured or learned something or found myself, whatever the fuck they found that they're supposed to do in prison, why would you take the right to vote? I think it's ridiculous. Yeah. They served their time, you let them out, let them vote. Mm-hmm. You want them to go get a job and you're going to take FICA.
Yeah, what's rehabilitation if you don't think that they're okay to vote?
I think it's ridiculous.
Just what it says, the election is a referendum on racism, cloaked in economy, security, and safety for rural residents.
Read it.
Let's go.
I like that.
This is my uncle, first of all. He says, this election is a referendum on racism, cloaked in economy, security, and safety for the rural residents. I can't say rural because I have issues with my R's, but, you know, it's a thing I've battled with my whole life.
Middle America.
That's why you don't know my first name. It's 2 R's together.
I know. Why don't you break that down, Casey? I love that. Come on, DNA. That's your uncle.
Yeah, I mean, this is where everything comes out. You know what I'm saying? This is where the curtain is taken down. You know, you see this is where you see what racism really is.
Yeah.
You see that it's still alive and well. Yeah. And by all of these people that are in power, by placing these different things, you know, these different propositions and stuff like that, the people that vote for these, if these pass, they're like, oh shit, these people are my neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. These people are people I go to work with.
Yeah.
That think like this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, this shows that racism is still alive. They just been concealing it until the elections happen. Until it's election time.
Until we realize it's cloaked in economic security.
Yes.
For rural residents.
Yeah. Because they say in the way they word it in these propositions and these ballots, it makes it look like it's going to help the economy. It makes it look like it's going to help the people in the economy. But you gotta read.
You gotta read.
You gotta read and understand.
Yep.
You know, not just read and understand. Because yesterday I had my girl Megan over here. We were going through everything. We were watching videos on every proposition.
Right? You gotta watch a lot because depending on which video you watch, they sway it to whatever direction they want it to go. You gotta be very thorough.
Yeah.
So you can understand your no what it means and your yes what it means. That really, really matters. And I think the app-based one was a really confusing one for a lot of people. I think the dialysis one was a really confusing one for a lot of people. So everybody I got to talk to personally, I really broke it down because like I told you guys prior, my best friend and my husband work in the hospital. So they gave me they enlightened me, more on the dialysis situation. But like I said, you have to be careful of where you're getting the information from, the person's perspective who's giving it to you, because they're going to give you the perspective they want you to vote.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do your research very thoroughly, and you can't wait till the last minute to look at these ballots and these propositions, because then you're just going to rush through them,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you got to be mindful of exactly what you're doing, because these things affect you.
Yeah.
Like the Proposition 22, this Uber proposition, this Uber Lyft proposition was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Especially in
And
California. Well, yeah.
it was one of the most
California,
expensive it was one of the most expensive propositions,
Mm-hmm.
because Uber was already having issues and ready to bounce and be like, well, we're just going to close up shop. Then it was like, no, we'll just make the people decide. And they
Mhm.
spent a flux of money
Yeah.
to get on this ballot.
Mm-hmm.
So this was actually a very expensive proposition
Yeah.
to get on the ballot at the last minute.
Yeah, Donna Webster asked a question. She said, was Puerto Rico able to vote for president this time? I know it was being discussed, because normally, since they're just a territory,
Well,
they didn't
yeah.
get to vote for president.
No,
I'm not
I
sure.
don't think so.
I don't see it anywhere.
Because they're not
Yeah.
naming them anywhere. I don't think so.
Okay, Biden won New Mexico. It's 5 electoral.
Francisca French says,
That's our fact checker.
oh, by the way, a big happy birthday to Francisca French.
Happy
Her
birthday!
birthday was just the other day. And
So was Walt.
yes, Walt was on 30th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scorpio
Walt just had a birthday too.
Gang, gang, gang. But she says that's
So
crazy.
Scorpios? Is that Scorpio?
Yeah.
Scorpio season?
Scorpio
She said that's crazy that they can't vote. Talking about the prisoners.
Uh-huh.
They can't vote since they're counted in the population when in jail. True.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Mhm. Jeff Woodard says largest number of landowners and richest counties.
Help us, Jeff.
Can you elaborate on that, Uncle
I'm
Jeff?
sure he's adding on to something.
Yeah, I think that was
but
something that we were talking
Uh-huh.
about earlier. Deanna Stevens says, yeah, those referendums and propositions are word trickery. Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
most definitely.
Carla says, I don't know what that emoji is.
Me neither. Is it? Oh, happy birthday? Is that for Francesca?
Sure, why not? Happy birthday, Francesca.
Okay, so it looks
She
like
said
right
thank
now
you.
they're dissecting what's going on in Florida. And a lot of Florida is looking red, but Miami in Florida is looking blue. So they're dissecting Florida right now, and it's not looking great. I'll just tell you that. I'll just tell you that it's not looking great. And Florida's actually a big state.
Oh, so he's talking about big agriculture.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I knew he would tell you. You just have to ask.
Yeah.
I knew he would tell you.
Oh, so Donna Webster says she looked it up and they can't vote for the president.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, because that
But
would
she
be a
said,
big
that, she
deal.
said they were talking about it this year, though. They should.
I don't see why they should.
Yeah.
They definitely
If
should.
they have to uphold to all the everything, if
They
they have to uphold to all the laws and rules and
yeah,
regulations.
but they should be able to pick the person who they're
Yeah.
voting to.
So
I think that's a little ridiculous.
go. Let's see where I think it's the same, right?
Yeah, it hasn't
Yeah.
moved. That's what I was looking to. I wanted to update people, but it doesn't look like it's moving. Hodge's number is not even there yet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't even have that number that you have. Yeah, on CNN, it's still saying 94 electoral votes for Biden, 72 for Trump. We don't even have the number that Casey is actually pulling up from the data that he has. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's all over the place right now.
Well, this is my
But-
direct link from through Kanye. So
Oh, that's what the purple color means.
This is the Yeezy numbers.
Well, I did find out his middle name today. Oh, it was very
all right.
interesting. It was very interesting on my ballot. Kanye was not the president.
Well, not here,
Yeah, not
but
here. He was the VP.
in other states he was. In Mississippi he was.
Really?
I think Fred said in Colorado he was.
Well, he wasn't here. On here,
But-
he was the VP.
Yeah.
It was another person.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I didn't pick him, but he was higher on the list, so I had to
I
scroll
mean, but that's why
down.
he showed so many people, because he was too late to get on the ballot for a lot of the states.
Right.
You know, and then like he was very close to a lot of states, but he didn't turn the paperwork.
But how ass backwards is that to have him president on some
And
and
vice
VP on some?
But the thing is, like, they were showing me their ballots. My family was showing me ballots like in their states, and they had like 12 different people on the ballot for president. We
only
had like 3. No, 4.
I had 6.
6.
I had 6. I had 6 boxes.
And that's another thing. So I went through the mail-in ballot with my friend yesterday, and I went and voted in person today, and there were way more options on the in-person ballot than in the mail-in ballot.
Wow.
And it's the same state. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, you just said you only had like 3 or 4, and I know for a fact we had 6.
Yeah,
That's weird.
So
I mean, I could be mistaken with that.
Well, you
I was
didn't
high,
Oh.
but it was early.
It was early.
I voted early too. I thought the polls was gonna be really crowded, but they weren't actually. But you know, I have to admit, I did like the fact that we had so many days to vote.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because normally we just today is it. This is the only day we have, and then you can do the mail-in ballot. But because of COVID, you know, Gavin opened the polls, I think, on the 28th or the 29th. So we had days. So it was kind of nice because it wasn't super crowded.
Yeah, Deanna Stevens says now Miami is very ethnic, so I'm curious to see where they stand.
Well,
But
Miami is standing blue. Florida is not.
Florida
Miami,
is still the South, and
Yeah.
it's the South that South gets.
Florida, very.
Yeah, Florida is very gut buckety,
Yeah, there.
and they have lots of Florida men there. You know how all the crazy stuff you hear in the news says Florida man eats off a face. Florida man
Yeah, everything.
has sex with an alligator in the middle of Walmart.
Miami is looking like it's gonna be blue, but Miami can't hold the state by
Yeah.
itself. So you know we gotta be what's going
Donna
on?
Webster says the politicians were worried about winning over Puerto Rico because there are 850,000 who can vote in the U.S.
Okay.
That was
Okay. Walt.
Talk to me.
Deanna Stevens says Kanye was only on 16 ballots for president. Like 16
Oh,
states.
16
Yeah.
states. Okay, because he definitely wasn't on ours.
Yeah, you're gonna need a few more than that to actually win the presidency.
And it was such a waste to vote for him because I
Well,
have some issues like Walt. I did see some people who posted that they voted for him, and I
Yeah,
thought
and
it was
he
just
retweeted.
ridiculous.
But even what's his name?
Like-
Tesla guy.
Elon.
Elon Musk.
Mhm.
Even he told him not to do it right now. He said, if you're going to run, postpone it. If you're going to run,
Well, do it
wait a
right.
few years from now.
Do
Yeah,
it,
but
do it right.
just that when it comes to mine, gotta happen.
Yeah, it was a bad move, and it was a lot of waste for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Deanna Stevens says, yes, y'all right. Those swamp boys were all over.
Mhm. Definitely.
You and your brother.
Yeah. Deanna Stevens is my sister, by the way, folks. My whole family's on here. My mom, 2 of my sisters,
I know my Chrissy must be voting.
cousins. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wish people I didn't know were on here.
Hopefully, like you said, hopefully they're out there voting.
Yeah, we hope
So,
you guys are out there
California, you
voting.
have about half an hour left. So, if you haven't voted yet, you can still get out and go out and vote. Just Google your nearest voting place. Like, they're all over. They're all over California.
Yeah, they
Like,
are. They
I
are.
have like 4 around me. I walked to mine today, and
Yeah,
I walked to the drop-off box yesterday for my girl. So, I mean, they're all over. There's no excuse.
They're
It's like half an
everywhere.
hour. And it's quick. Like other places, it would take a while, but literally, I walked in, and there was no line. There were people in there, but there was no line. They had all the machines set up, and I just went, did my thing, walked in. Oh, what I was saying earlier. You know how I told you that, how last week we told you guys that if you have your mail-in ballot and you want to vote in person, bring your mail-in ballot to forfeit that so you don't vote provisional.
Mhm.
Well, in the whole hubbub of my move,
Mhm.
all of my mail hasn't been transferred over here. So I got a mailer that I thought was my ballot saying that so I'm chilling, you know, I'm waiting till I'm ready to fill it out. I open it up and it says that if this is your address, please verify, otherwise it'll be sent to this address. Now this mailer was sent to my old address and the person that lived there brought it to me.
Mhm.
So I contacted the person that lived there. They said there was no ballot there. So I didn't have a mail-in ballot. So I went thinking I was going to vote provisionally.
Mhm.
I went in and she says, what's your first and last name? I give it to her and my old address pops up. I said, it's actually a different address now.
Mhm.
That's where my ballot was supposed to go, but no one seen it. She's like, well, don't worry about it. What's your new address? Did all that. I didn't have to vote provisionally. I didn't have any issue. They changed my mailing address for future, for the future votes.
That's what's up.
That's good.
And I went and she gave my ballot and I voted. like very easy.
Good.
You know what? That happened to Kennedy.
Yeah.
My daughter turned 18 in April. She just turned 18, so of
Yeah,
course
yeah.
I
April
registered
babies.
my babies. I registered her to vote. So when the mail-in ballots came, didn't come in her name. So I thought she was gonna have to do a provisional ballot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mama went up there. I'm talking for both my children, you know, and making sure everything is good. And they gave Kennedy a ballot.
Mm-hmm.
They did give her a ballot. They looked at my card and they was like, well, you guys are in the same household. This would be her number. And she typed in a number and she gave her an actual ballot.
Nice.
And it was funny because neither one of my children was very excited about this. They just knew they had to do it. It was more so of a chore. They was just like, we know we have to go. Like,
Well,
don't want us to vote.
It seems like they're more lenient in California because in Illinois, Deanna says people should definitely check their polling places because we had to send a lot of people to the correct polling places.
Oh, see, we didn't have that issue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the polling place I went to was in a different city than what my address said. So, and they were just,
And
they
they
were
let
fine
you
with
vote.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Jeff Woodard says it's expected that Cuban Americans in Florida support Trump by 50%, which meant you see a lot of Latinos for Trump, which is crazy.
Well, Latinos are conservative. I don't know if a lot of people realize that, but Latinos are very conservative in their culture. They're very conservative people. That's why Texas tends to be red. It's a lot of Latinos in Texas.
Yeah.
And they're
Which
conservative.
is crazy. Well, there's Hispanics in Texas. There's Latinos in Miami. But, you know.
Excuse me.
What?
I'm sorry, you guys. So the Hispanics in Texas are conservative, like the Latinos in Florida, because it's a very conservative culture.
Isn't that weird though? Like
It is.
Yeah, but they're super conservative.
Yeah, culturally.
Culturally,
But
they are.
as far as like American conservative, it's like.
Well, I don't know if the ones born here, you know, are like that, but the ones who, you know, grew up with their grandmas and grandpas, you know, they may be a little bit more like that. What's your sister say?
She says, important. If you are voting provisional, make sure you are in the right place. Because if you are just at the wrong place, your vote will not count.
I've seen a lot of
Really?
I've seen a lot of fake. I've seen posts about a lot of fake little
Ballot drop-offs?
Yeah.
I have too.
Oh, yeah.
I have too.
You haven't seen it in person.
I
but I've
have
seen a lot of that.
So one of the things that the Republicans have been doing are making these fake drop-off boxes for your ballots. That you'll see a ballot drop off, you'll put your ballot in there, and that goes nowhere. Now the weird thing is, a lot of them were in Orange County, which I would think would be pretty much Republican.
Mm-hmm.
So who is that helping if those votes aren't being counted?
I don't know.
Yeah, like
'Cause
Orange
I
County,
heard,
Anaheim, all that stuff.
I did hear about one, I think up where Casey just said in Orange County or Anaheim, and the polling place was putting the ballots behind the desk. They wasn't in. They was like, okay.
Wow.
Okay, and it was just taking off.
So, the numbers has changed. But Donna Webster says y'all must have same-day registration. So that's why
Yes.
we can go to different places because
Yes, we
it's
do.
just like you're registering in a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So
do.
yeah, we do have same-day
We have
registration. That's a good point. Let's get these updates.
We got to update you guys. Okay, the race to 270 electoral votes. It looks like Biden is in the lead with 133 votes and Trump has 115.
Yes. So we're still looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still looking good.
We're still looking good.
Well, according to the older guy who has picked the president for I think the last 10 presidents, he's always been correct. He said Biden was going to get it.
Yeah.
He said it was going to be a close call. but
Now the crazy thing is, like looking at the map right now, you see red all over. But the states that Biden have won, they have more points. They count for more points. They
Exactly.
have those states are heavier in the electoral college. So if you're looking at it right now, it might look like
Trump.
It's very red. And also, if you look at the states on the East Coast, there are a lot of small states.
Yeah.
Which gives them more weight.
Yeah.
Because what's the Senate?
Well, they're
the
all blue.
population.
That's them right there. They're all blue.
Yeah.
You
All
can't.
these, yeah.
Yeah, you just can't. They're
So
so
they're
small.
Yeah.
You know.
So
But
if you're looking at it visually,
Mhm.
it looks like Trump is in the lead. But
yeah.
we got
and
this
like
so
Casey
far.
said, the electoral votes matter. It's all about the numbers when it comes to the president. That's why we was pushing so hard for you guys to go vote, because it's just not about the president. It's about the propositions too.
Yeah.
It's about everything on the ballot.
I had an argument with someone. Not an argument. I had had a discussion. It wasn't a discussion because it was him saying something, I said something, and then he said something, and I just left it alone. Because that's the energy I'm at right now. It's like I don't have time to go back and forth with ignorance. Like I'll give you the facts. I'll give you the facts, and if you take that, you take it. If you leave it, you leave it. I'm not here. I don't have time to
Go back
make you believe what the truth is. You know how it works. You know I'll tell you how it works, and then you take it or leave it. But he was saying that our votes don't matter. Look at how Trump won. Oh no, I just said, where is it? How about I bring it up? Shall we?
I hope you said what I hope you said.
All right, so
He was in the comment on a friend's page?
yeah.
Okay.
So my boy Jay, my boy Jeremy had made a post, and he said, everybody's saying voting don't work, but never vote. Shut your ass up.
Okay.
And then so this guy says, let me go to the. Oh, there's so many people who comment on
Comments,
that.
yeah, I'm looking at it. There's a lot of comments. But what did you say?
That's not the one I commented on, I don't think. Oh, they went on after I finished. Oh, it started a whole thing.
Because you kicked them facts to him.
Okay, so he says everybody that voted Hillary and won, got overrated by the Electoral College. And then he says, but y'all can have a say so on voting. A lot of MFers just repeating what they heard and don't even know what a ballot is. And he says, all I know is as a veteran, can't throw that out because that doesn't mean you're a politician.
No.
I've never voted because regardless of who won, that was our boss. And with Electoral College having the power to make the decision regardless of what the American people wanted, made me feel personally that it's fixed, i.e. politics. It's an illusion of power and a illusion of power that's given to the people.
So why did you join the military?
Right, and then my boy says that's why the people got to get more with it and get more seats in the city halls, the Senate, the courthouses, all that.
Right.
ALLAT. It can't just be let's vote every 4 years. It's hella smaller elections that need to be focused on now.
Sound like
and then he says that. Well, we've had this conversation before.
All the time.
He said, no, I mean us, the two of us.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He says that gets in the way of a lot of people's plans. The other guy said that gets voting every 2 years gets in the way of a lot of people's plans.
So if your plans are priority.
Okay, so apparently we need a quick lesson on what the Electoral College is. It goes by state. If someone gets the most votes in one state, they win the state. Whoever has the most states wins. So since different states have different populations, the overall different populations, the overall U.S. vote count doesn't matter. This is why the election night every 4. This is why on election night every 4 years you see the states won. Some states hold more weight. Is it fair? Not at all. But if you don't vote, you are not being represented in your state. So yes, every vote still matters, and it's reckless to say otherwise. Point blank. If you don't vote, don't complain. Don't complain about shit for the next 4 years. And he's like, I'm actually good. I'm not complaining type, and definitely not the type to wait for a president to make anything happen on my behalf. We can go deeper into history. They always say we can go deeper into history, but not know the history. We can go deeper in history if we are really breaking things down and talk about how minority votes used to be thrown away. Again, didn't really matter, but that's a debate of its own. But he doesn't know what he's talking about. Hence why he didn't say it. If you vote, I'm proud of you. That's your right. But it's my same right to see it as false sense of power to the people. The higher ups want you to feel like that you have a choice, but they control the options. They control the options. LOL. It doesn't sit well with me. But like I said, proud of you for voting.
I'm confused why he joined the military.
Yeah.
I mean, not even being funny, but I'm confused. I mean, if that's your take on it, like whoever I vote for, that's gonna be my boss, and I'm gonna have to just do what they say. But you have a say so in who the hell your boss is.
Yeah.
Like I don't get a say so in who the hell my boss is. When a shareholder,
Right, if you
when a
have that
person getting
choice-
promoted, that's my boss. I don't have a
Yeah,
fucking
if you have that choice, take it.
choice. So if I had a
Would
choice,
you love to be able to pick who your boss is? Yeah, right.
who would? Like,
She wants me to be my boss.
Right. Write myself in.
Yeah,
So
well,
I mean, I can't. Most of the time, I like to play devil's advocate with KC, but I can't.
Mhm.
Like I can't. I can't even play that because I don't even get his point. He said a lot of words, but he didn't say shit.
Right.
He said a lot of words.
And there were so many comments after that.
Yeah.
I tapped out a long time. You see
I saw
how many was
I
after
saw.
that? It was
Yeah.
like 30 something comments.
But-
I was like, no.
But I thought you were gonna say something else, and I apologize. But
Oh,
I'm
go
gonna
for it.
say what I thought you were gonna say.
Say what you need to say.
What pisses me off, you know,
What pisses her off?
because we have one a little long, so we're gonna, bring it in.
Hey, I'm here.
But what pisses me off is when people say your vote don't count, your vote don't count. Well, first of all, it's other things on the ballot besides the president.
Mhm.
Okay, let's just take that in the hand. It's
Well,
other
I didn't
things-
say that because Jeremy said that earlier.
Right.
So,
It's other things on the ballot besides the president. Yes, the president is a 270 electoral vote. But like I always say, there are other things on the ballot that is not electoral votes, and it's basically a popularity vote.
Mhm.
Who you vote for, that's the person who gets the Congress, the person who gets the House, the person who gets the Senate, the person who becomes the judge, the person who becomes the Attorney General. So if you think none of those things matter, please explain to me why we have voter suppression.
Mhm.
Because voter suppression is very, very real.
Now that's what I
So,
that's
I
what I
can't-
usually say. But I've said it so much over this past year, I'm over it.
You're over it. Yeah, but voter suppression is very real.
Mhm.
Where the people in there all take lunch around the same time, so everything's moving slower.
Mhm.
They'll close the doors after a certain amount of people. So if the
They
line
closed down polling places
Yes.
in black and brown cities, black and brown counties,
So if-
neighborhoods.
So if you want to say that your vote doesn't matter, you're a lie. Because voter suppression is real. If we was just going in there casting a ballot that didn't matter, they wouldn't freely let us in.
Mhm.
They'll be like, oh yeah, they think they're doing something.
If voting,
They think they're doing
if
something.
our votes didn't matter, then why would they keep us from voting for so long? Why would we have to fight and for so long to get water hoses and the dog sick on us to be able to vote for so long?
If our vote didn't
If
matter,
our vote didn't
they would
matter.
have just freely gave us a piece of paper and be
Yeah.
like, okay, vote.
Yeah.
Vote because it doesn't matter.
There was
But it matters.
legislation, meaning that there were meetings with a lot of people that said, okay, this is how we're going to keep them from voting. If our vote didn't matter, why would they take the time to do that?
Exactly. So I just want people to really always remember that when someone tells you, especially young people, because you're going to come across older people who are bitter, or maybe their candidate didn't win, or some shit just went the wrong way for them. And they're like, that doesn't matter. It's your voice.
Mhm.
It is your voice. And you have a voice that needs to be heard.
Mhm.
You are in this life for a reason. You don't need validation for anything. So if something is going on in this world and you don't like it and you have an opinion, state your opinion. It is your voice. That is how we speak our piece when it comes to these laws and it comes to what's going on. It's in that ballot box. State your opinion. Say your thought. Use your voice.
And stand on.
Voting matters. And I don't care what anyone ever tells you. We fought too hard to get it. That's how I know it matters, because I promise you, we're not dummies. That's why now we're not just voting, we're running. Voting matters. It will always matter. That's why I always specify you do the ballot from the top to the bottom. You do the whole ballot. Voting matters, and don't let anybody, I don't care what color they are, tell you that it does not. It does.
It's fine. Cheers.
Yo, to that. Where's your drink?
Hey, you know what? Mine is empty, but we don't go for that. Yeah.
Come on now. Yeah, let's pass all that COVID around. Yeah. We got some updates, guys. We got some updates.
Okay, where are we? I think we caught that. Didn't we call Mississippi?
Oh wait, yeah, I think we got all this already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still counting.
Yeah.
Okay, right now it's looking like it's close, and it's come down to Arizona, Pennsylvania. Is that Michigan?
Wisconsin.
Or is that Minnesota?
Oh, it's Minnesota. Yeah.
Is it Minnesota and Wisconsin? So that's what we're waiting on. What KC is showing you is what has already happened. These votes have been counted. These votes are in. So we're still waiting. Obviously, We haven't closed yet. We close in 7 minutes.
Donna Webster says we didn't have drop-off. She's in Mississippi.
Okay.
She said we didn't have drop-off boxes or mail-in ballots unless you were out of state for work or military. The state should be uniform on election day. Should be a national holiday. Yes, definitely.
You know what? Sense. I agree with you. Today was the first day I've ever had a job that closed on election.
I was just about to say this year they know how important it is this year, to the point where I have so many people who didn't have work today.
Yeah, they
didn't have work. It was pretty much at least a statewide holiday for a lot of people.
My company closed.
A lot of jobs were closed.
Yeah, they closed. And a lot of jobs actually closed.
Yeah.
They wanted us to go vote, but more importantly, they wanted us to be safe because no one knows what the repercussions of this outcome is going to do. I follow a lot of activists and everything on my timeline on Instagram, and one of the activists was showing in Los Angeles, in the city of Santa Monica, on 2nd and Colorado, the street is empty because it's the promenade, so the street is empty. And then he walked up, and there was a pallet of bricks. It had to be about 65 or 70 bricks on this pallet. Big ass bricks.
They do this.
And then he showed the bricks. Mind you, he showed the street. So nobody's on the street. So it's like, where the hell did these bricks come from? But him and his friend took the bricks and left. But that's what they want to do. They want to put the bricks in neighborhoods and then go back to the neighborhood.
When everyone was protesting,
right.
They were putting piles of bricks all over the streets. For people to bust up things. These weren't us.
No,
we don't have these bricks.
They
were putting the bricks there for us. Because they want civil unrest.
That's exactly what they want.
And if they want civil unrest, we're gonna give it to them. You feel me?
And a lot of companies, small businesses, large businesses, especially grocery stores, very expensive boutiques and stores, they have boarded up their businesses. Like it's like they're trying to. Chrissy, they're trying to get in front of it. They're trying to get in front of it because they don't know exactly what's going to happen. I'm sorry, you guys. My niece just logged on. I'm sure she was out voting. My niece is in Texas, so I wanted her to be safe and be careful. So I'm glad to see her on right now. Hi, honey.
What did she say, Chrissy? What'd she say?
What she said. Crystal Woods. Yes, my job gave us the ability to work earlier or later to have time to vote or longer lunch breaks.
Deanna Stevens says we had tons of first-time voters and many were well over 18 years. That's crazy.
I told Haj that.
She says people are very passionate this year, no matter which way they are voting.
But it's crazy to me. So many celebrities have came out and said it because I don't know a lot of people personally where this was.
Kanye voted for the first time this year. How are you running for president and it's your first time voting?
Shaq said this was his first time voting. Method Man said this was his first time voting. Mind you, these people are my age.
This year is so like
very important for all. It's so funny. Casey said that. It's so funny because
can you dig it?
Because when I was 18. It was like I was legal to vote, but I was still a kid. I still lived with my mom. It was non-optional for me.
Right.
Like I didn't have a choice. My mother had a daycare when I was a kid, and the kids was at the house. And on the voting day, my mom would tell all the parents, "Oh, you have to be here by 6 p.m. Because we have to go vote." And she would put on her clothes because my mom didn't go out a lot, so voting was a big deal. So she would put on her clothes. She called my name, and she was like, "Let's go." And we walked to the voting post. It wasn't optional for me. I had to vote. I still lived with my mom at the age of 18. And I think if you don't live with your parent at the age of 18, if my kids didn't, I would have been calling all day, like, well, show me your sticker. What did you say? What's on the ballot? Let me know. It's funny. It's kind of funny and crazy to me how they went this long and they haven't always been rich. And they never even thought about voting or making their voice heard.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me. I don't know if they were raised where they felt their voice should have been silent.
Right.
I don't understand, but it's crazy to me to be as old as they are and never have voted.
Donna Webster says, we don't need people giving up on voting. We need more people to get involved in the process.
Yes.
Everyone needs to start tomorrow recruiting non-voters into the process, definitely.
Yes. And that is why she's the president of the fan club.
And that is why I am who I am today.
Hey, everyone.
She said, thus, election proves that we still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it does. It does. Because it lets you know what people are thinking. When certain people get in office, it just lets you know, like, damn, how the hell did he win? How did she win? It really matters. So the election tells you a lot. And when you have conversations with your friends, it tells you a lot of, the people that you consider very close. And, it's a meme going around. And I think it's funny, but it's very real. It's like, well, girl, we can disagree to disagree. It's like, bitch, we can disagree on pizza, not racism.
Right.
Like, we can't agree to disagree on something like
this.
Yeah, we can't agree to disagree on something as big and serious as this. So it opens up a lot of eyes. I think 4 years ago when Trump won, it opened up a lot of people's eyes, because everybody thought it was a fluke and everybody thought it was a hoax. And then he came out as he got the W. He won last year, 4 years ago. So I think it just opens up people's eyes that this does matter. You know what I mean? This really does matter. Your voice does matter. I'm very glad that you voted early, Percy. Deanna Stevens says, yes, we have many parents voting with their 18-year-olds today. We always cheer and congratulate them. They cheered my baby too. And they gave her a little banana because it was early and she looked tired. She looked like I just woke her up too. But she still had to go out there and vote. So I was proud of her and I'm glad she did it. I think everybody's trying to get stats around me right now, but we're going to come off in the next 5 minutes, you guys, because we actually been on an hour and a half.
We can still keep it going. I mean, it's whatever. I ain't got shit to do in the morning.
I say we can still keep it going. It's whatever. Well, 8 o'clock. Our polling places have closed unless you're in line.
Hey,
they
Malawi,
still will let you vote.
Say hi earlier.
They still will let you vote, but our polls close at 8 p.m. So we should start getting our propositions in really soon, and we can see exactly what's going on with our props and which props works. And like I said, the app-based prop was a really, really important prop out here in Los Angeles. A lot of people was very anxious to know how that's going to come out.
Miss Crystal Wood says, yes, Miss Webster, my mama, we need to do it up to the next 4 years, not just election year.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly. And we got, Haji over here looking
at
at
Donna Webster says, that part, period. She didn't say all that, but.
So the polls are closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a projection, you guys. We have a projection. It looks like, of course, Biden won California. That just came in, and they're already saying he's the winner, and it's literally just 8 o'clock. So he must have won by a landslide. It looks like Biden has won Washington. 207. He's won Washington, which Washington had 12 electoral votes. Biden has won Oregon. Oregon had 7 electoral votes. So right now and Wyoming went to Trump, and Idaho is still counting.
Yes.
Okay, so he just won the West Coast basically. He won California, Oregon, and Washington.
This is looking really good, y'all.
And like I said at the beginning of the podcast, just to FYI, you guys, it's a math game. The president, this is a math game. 270 is the goal. So you just do the math and you can figure it out. Like people's like, they can't call it too early. It's math, and you can call math, pretty early, depending if you can calculate. Crystal Wood say, dang, y'all faster than now.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
Breaking news.
We trying, girl. We trying. We keep telling y'all to join the conversation. We over here talking to you.
Donna Webster said they didn't have early voting. Today was the only day they could vote.
Oh, wow. Donna, we had it since the 28th, I think.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? So where my mom lives, they have, the county that she lives in, of course, they have different polling places, but there's still polling places that are whites only and blacks only. Not like just historically. And so people kept it like that. So the white people, and they're right next to each other. So white people go into this building, black people go into this other building.
In 2020.
Wow. And they still rock like that. Like it's not necessarily only.
But like, the other race don't invade. They won't go to the other.
Yeah.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah. Wild.
That's deep. So our new numbers for Joe Biden, and the sitting president right now is 192 for Joe Biden and 108 for.
No, it was 2 something.
You got 2 something. I'm looking at this.
Yeah, remember when they just showed it? He was like 217, and Biden and Trump was like 208.
So I think they're waiting on Florida. Cause let me see how many electoral votes.
We have to wait for it to pop up.
Okay, because Florida must have a lot. Because after a certain time, they just call it. Because it doesn't matter how many electoral votes are left. You can't hit 270. Yeah. Like it's just impossible with the numbers that's left. But Florida is left. And Florida, if I'm not mistaken, is a very big state.
Florida and Texas.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't called Texas yet.
Texas is still left too?
Yeah.
But Texas was between the two.
Yeah,
so
Florida and Texas.
I'm sorry, you guys. We're doing it at the same time you guys are. You know, we're trying to all figure it out.
Florida's really close. Georgia's the head round. A good amount.
So Florida has 29. That is a big number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 29 is a lot.
So Florida's a very big.
Yeah, Florida's a swing state. You know, it can go either color. I mean, the West Coast wasn't so much of a swing state. We're blue. We're always blue.
How many does Texas have? Because county has 55.
Yeah, I don't hear.
County has 55. So how many electoral votes does
For California?
for Texas?
Okay.
California has 55.
Do we? I didn't know we had that many.
Has 55 what?
Electoral votes.
California.
I thought we were low.
Texas has 38.
Thank you, Walt.
Oh, yeah, 30. Okay.
I was looking. Thank you so much.
We got you.
Okay, so Texas has, I didn't realize Texas was that big. Texas has 38 and we have 55.
Yeah, that's what it said.
We're pretty big. That's large.
Yeah, Donna says we won't know for several days. It's true, because they still have to do all the mail-in votes.
They got
and
the
all that.
provisional ballots
Yeah.
too and the mail-in ballots.
Yeah. But the county next to her is the one that has the segregated voting.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it never dawned on them to switch it.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, keep in mind, this is the area where my mom's been trying to, she lives in the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's been trying to get street lights put up, in certain areas. And everyone around her is like, because she wants to get people to go in with her, like,
Help me.
yeah. And they're like, why? They're not gonna do nothing. Like, why?
That's the mentality.
Yeah. There's like, why? Nothing's gonna change.
So it's pitch black when they're driving.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're like, why? Nothing's gonna change.
Wow. That's deep.
Oh, it's like street lights or a stop like traffic lights, something like that. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
She just trumped out Florida.
Trump got.
Now, keep in mind, these are just still kind of projections because this is like so far because we haven't gotten out. We won't have all the votes in.
Yeah, it'll take us a while, but it is going to be some projections.
Mm-hmm.
And so while we're waiting on the projections, it looks like we have some new viewers. I'm just going to revisit, just a little revisit of our chips and dip that we talked about earlier.
I mean, this is the bill. Why don't we just give them the bill?
You want to give him the bill?
Let's give him the bill.
Okay. In case he don't press the wrong button.
Hey,
He pressed
election day.
So I wasn't going to give you guys the bill, but I will. So with the bill today, on Super Tuesday, the first thing Taco Tuesday led in with is we talked about the executive order that Donald Trump signed yesterday, and it's called the Patriotic Education. I want to make sure I'm calling it the right thing, you guys. Give me 2 seconds, because we talked about that in a minute.
Gosh.
It's called the executive order. Oh, I am right. It's called the 1776 Commission to Instill the Patriotic Education. Once again, just to reiterate, he did this executive order yesterday. And this order is to hire or gain 20 people to put in a commission for the next 2 years to reconstruct the American history that is taught in the school system. He wants to change the curriculum of the American history that is taught in the school system. And just to, break it down so people can understand it, He wants to take out teaching them about slavery and teaching them about segregation and teaching them about things that happen. He said that's not patriotic and that's not the America they should learn about. He said people are already taking down their statues and their monuments, and kids need to learn about these things before it's all wiped off the world. So this being said, Trump is basically trying to get rid of Black history.
To whitewash history.
Yes, that's exactly what they're calling it. He's trying to get rid of Black history to whitewash history. And we cannot let this happen. Once again, if Biden wins, I do not know how to flip an executive order from the president. So I will do a little bit more research and find out how that works. But this is a problem. This is an issue. And this is something every parent should be concerned with, because at some point your child's going to go to school. And if you're not teaching them this in the home, it's going to be a problem, because eventually they won't know this. And this is an executive order that he signed yesterday. He just signed this order yesterday afternoon.
The day before Election Day.
Yes, and so it's set. It's done. So I know.
I don't think Trump understands how the presidency works.
No, because he signs executive orders all the time.
Well, not only that, but he's trying to do so much right before Election Day, like fill the seat, and all this stuff. He thinks that his president, if he loses the election, his presidency ends today. Like just like in the debate when he was like, I don't know why other presidents get 4 years and I've only got 3.5. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me.
But you don't move in until January. You finish out the year. You finish out the year. That's
makes sense to me, but I mean, it's the only thing I can expect because the media bullies me, and it's just not fair to me. But everyone gets 4 years, I get 3.5. I don't know, but
he's an idiot. But he's signing executive orders, and I expect if he loses, he will sign more executive orders. So we just have to be very aware of what he's doing. Like my husband said earlier, he snuck that judge in real fast. He signed this order to change the history curriculum in schools. But once again, if the commission does give a curriculum, it has to go through the House, it has to go through the Senate, and at the end of the day, governors have something to say about the education curriculum in their state, which is a big problem depending on what state you live in, because certain governors will pick the curriculum he's pushing, and certain governors will not, which means you have kids who don't have all the information at the same time. And Crystal Wood said, he said
he was going to stop doing stuff until the election, then writes an executive order.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he's going to stop doing stuff that benefits the people.
Right. No stimulus check.
Yeah, stimulus check is going to hold hostage until after the election. No, I'm sorry, not until after the election, until after he wins the election. So if he loses, we can kiss that goodbye. we can live on this 12 hundo, for the whole year.
Real talk. So that was our chips and dip for tonight. And then obviously Casey and I, because it is Super Tuesday, and Casey and I are huge advocates of voting, we talked about what's going on with the votes. We talked about what's going on with the electoral election. Electoral election.
College.
We talked about the electoral college election. And then we just gave you our opinion. We talked about some of the props. And next week we will recap to see which props got passed, which props didn't. And of course, by next week, hopefully we'll have a better, clearer vision of who the leader of the free world will be.
And if you guys want to do a little homework for us for next week, because each state has different propositions. So if you guys want to pick out like the most ridiculous propositions that you guys have in your states are the ones that you guys really wanted to push through that didn't make it. Let us know. Make a list of those and let us know so we can talk about it, because we're only in California. We only know what's here.
Yes.
So there's 50 states.
And a lot of you guys do not live here. Yeah. So it'd be nice to hear what's going on.
Most of you guys don't live here.
Because one of the propositions we had, I think 4 years ago or 6 years ago, was do we want to should we pay for plastic bags when we get groceries? Obviously, I missed that proposition.
And guess what? We pay for plastic bags.
We have to pay for our grocery bags. And when I
plastic and paper,
that pisses me off. I cannot even explain it. So, and that was a ridiculous proposition. You spend $222 in the goddamn store, and you should be given a bag.
Yeah, but the way but this is another situation where the way it was worded, because it makes it seem like it's ecosystem
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
So by them making us pay for bags, that would encourage us to use reusable bags. And if you notice, when that passed, when they started charging for bags, it became the thicker plastic bags, which were reusable bags. But no one brought those bags back.
No, I did not, sir. And I have tons of them in my trunk.
They go right to they line our bathroom garbage cans. we coat chicken in them. Right.
Shaking it. We would love to hear about some of the propositions that's going on where you guys are, because like Casey said, we only know the propositions that's here. So I don't know any of the propositions in Mississippi and Texas. Where is Deanna?
Deanna's in Illinois.
In Illinois. So
Carla's in North Carolina. Donna's in Mississippi. Jeffrey's in Illinois. Freddie is in
Texas, in Colorado.
Freddie is in Colorado.
Yeah. So let us know what propositions you guys have.
In here.
That's kind of ridiculous. Our propositions this year, I would say we didn't have really crazy propositions.
Yeah.
Every proposition was a big deal to me. But I would like to know what other people have, because like Casey said, the propositions are always different. So, and like tonight's show, we just kind of talked about the election. We tried to keep you guys in the loop during the whole time of the election.
They didn't have any propositions in Texas.
In Texas. Wow.
Oh.
That's crazy.
That is odd. So you didn't have any. Maybe that's only an every 2-year thing.
Yeah.
That's very interesting,
Texas,
because Texas is a huge state.
I mean, just imagine the proposition that would be presented. You know
Well, Texas has a lot of conservatives.
Yeah.
So propositions will be very, but you have to have propositions at some point. It must not be on this election.
It must be every 4 years.
It must be every 2 or the opposite 4 or something. Yeah, because you got to have some propositions somewhere. He will. Donna Webster says he will threaten to withhold funding if his agenda.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. And that's how he gets our vote.
But that's what Casey said. He's a bully.
Yeah.
He's a bully. He's a bully. These Trumpers are bullies. That's what I call them. I call them Trumpers. These Trumpers are bullies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Crystal said it could be on other elections. Yeah, you guys should definitely. Texas is a huge state. They should definitely have some propositions going on. So.
All right, guys. So we're not going to stay until we figure out who's the president, because we'll be here for a couple days.
Yep.
I mean, I'm cool. I ain't got nothing to do. I mean, I love having company. I don't get to see nobody. I live in this big place by myself.
He gonna have to cook.
Yo, I bought some turkey wings. I'm about to smother tomorrow. Walt's like, I'll be here.
Yeah. So we definitely want to thank our in-studio guests.
Yes.
You know, we want to thank my hubby, Haji, and of course the one and only Walt.
Thank you for having me.
You know, he was so deep in thought. He wasn't really communicating with it. It was cool because he was here when he came in.
Well, if he walked into my living room, he would smell why
he was so deep in thought. And the rest of us are not there yet.
It smells rather herby. But notice that he says we're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're gonna meet him at his level.
This election's stressful, folks.
We're gonna meet him.
I finished the drink a little early.
I'm still sipping on mine, so.
I'm done.
I'm still sipping on mine.
But we want to thank you guys for hanging out with us, because we've actually been on close to 2 hours, and this is a long show for us. But we want to thank you guys for hanging in there with us.
Oh, let's give them a quick little razzle dazzle.
We're gonna give them a razzle. Okay, let's do a razzle dazzle. We so fancy now, y'all. See, they got shit on Taco Tuesday.
Taco!
Oh, real quick, Donna Webster says, can you bring in bags during the pandemic? So Trader Joe's actually has a rule that you can't bring your own bags. If you do, or if you want to use your own bags, you have to not get a bag at the register, and then they have tables set up outside the grocery store for you to bag your stuff into your own private bags.
Wow.
I think Whole Foods is like that.
Yeah.
Whole Foods is like that also. And it looks like the race to 270, we are looking at Biden at 207 and Trump at 148.
Oh, Trump came up.
And just remember, you guys, they only need 270 electoral college votes to be president.
You know what's happening? Because
no, I don't know.
Biden had more. He was like at 217, and Trump was like at 208.
So they're counting.
108 or something like that. So when those those mail-in ballots are coming in, these states are switching
up.
Yeah.
They're changing.
Yeah,
Because Florida went to.
this is very interesting.
It's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be very interesting, and we have to keep a close eye on it. And to all of our listeners, be careful wherever you are. Be careful, because if he wins, they're gonna want to celebrate, and if he loses, they're gonna want to revenge, and they're gonna want to be angry. So wherever you are, please be careful. And they're a little off up here. So instead of trying to be that person that can stand up against them, if you can take turns to go around, go around.
And if you can do anything illegal and know you're not going to get any ramifications or any punishment for it, they're going to do it.
Yeah,
and that's how
that's
it's been
the problem.
this past couple of years.
And that's the problem, and that is the problem. So just please be careful wherever you guys are, because, like I said, they are off the chain out here. They've laid bricks out in Santa Monica. They want people to riot. We have a lot of things boarded up in Los Angeles. I'm sure other states do too. So please be careful. To everybody out there, please be careful, because tonight's going to be a long night.
All right. Well, with that being said, guys, thank you for another episode of Talk O Tuesday. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you have anything that you want to talk to us about, or if you want us to talk about, please email us at tacotuesdayla@gmail.com. Remember, follow us at Taco Tuesday 365 on Instagram and on Twitter. We promise we'll get a little more active on Twitter because we know we need to. And subscribe on YouTube. We'll get a little more active on there as well. But also, if you subscribe on YouTube, you'll get our notifications when we go live.
Yeah.
So, we were a little bit late tonight, so you will get notifications when we go on, so you don't have to worry about all that.
And if you listen to us on any streaming platform, please leave a review. We are on all streaming platforms. We are on iTunes. We are on Spotify. We are on Podbean. We are on Google Play. We are on
all streaming platforms.
Yeah, we're on everything.
Castbox.
Yeah, we're on everything.
Yeah.
So please leave a review. Leave a review if you listen to the podcast. We truly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining the conversation tonight. Thank you for hanging with us for an hour and 50 minutes. We completely appreciate that. And we love you guys so very, very much. Once again,
I'm KC.
I'm E.
And we are
Not Your Average Podcast.
And we're going to leave it with Stevie saying, you cannot put it in the hands of fate. Do your part. Holla.
Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. Thank you.
Much love, y'all.
This song is lit.
This song is like, I heard there was some rhymes out.
The first song I went to was.
So just so you guys can know,
Kendrick.
this is off now. This is Stevie Wonder. Hold on. Stevie Wonder, Rhapsody, Corday, Chica, who I love, and Busta Rhymes. It's called "Can't Put It in the Hands of Fate."
Wow. Okay.
Check it out, y'all.
It was a deep album.
I gotta check it out.
All right, we're out of here. Thank you guys for joining us. Be safe out there.
Yes.
Be safe. Thanks for doing your part. Holla.